This one I'm going to talk, this may be the most important one of all the videos I've done. Although I think all the videos I've done are very important because you don't know any of it. You don't know any of the things that I've taught about in all the videos. And if you do know parts of it, you mix it with the parts you get from the church system, which makes it a completely faulty thing. You know, one of the things that God first showed me 20 years ago was you can't teach what you don't know, and you can't give away what you don't have. And so when the things that I'm teaching you, and I hate to be so blunt, but it's necessary because you have to see that what you're getting in the organized religious system, the church system, is off. Every bit of it. And you can't get this. What I'm teaching you, you can't get. Your pastor doesn't know it. The people sitting in the pews with you don't know it. The people who sing don't know it. The choir, the Sunday school teachers, the people that you're in Bible studies with, the friends that you talk about God with, they don't know this. They don't know any of this. And as I've said in many of the other videos, you can't take what I'm teaching you and take it and mix it with all that other stuff. That other stuff is not true. And I know it's very difficult for you to grasp this because you think, they're singing praise songs, they're nice people, it sounds right. But the doctrines underlying it, blaspheme God in ways that no one else on earth blasphemes God. Okay? And that can't be taken away. You can't ignore that. So here we go. Christianity's view, and your view, undoubtedly, of your life on earth is that your life on earth determines whether you're going to go to heaven or go to hell. And the time frame is eternity. That's your view. That's what you're taught in that building you go to on Sunday mornings. That's not true. Eternity has already been determined by what God did through Jesus Christ on the cross. His death, his burial, his resurrection, the fact that he is seated at the right hand of God. You're going to spend eternity with God. You're going to be immortal. That's already done. What your life on earth is about is whether you're going to have life or death for the ages. Because God is working his plan out perfectly through ages. You don't know that. Well, you should, because I've talked about it, but you don't. There will be another age after this age. And there will be another age after that age. The question is, are you going to have life during those ages, or death. That's what this is all about. Eternity is already settled. Now, this age is going to come to an end with the tribulation. And the tribulation is God's indignation being poured out on the governments of men and the religions of men. That is, all of the governments and all of the religions. There will be people who are removed from this earth before the tribulation. It's called the snatching away by the Apostle Paul. And it is the body of Christ. And the body of Christ constitutes those people who believe in the transcendent grace of God, in the finished work of Jesus Christ, in the conciliation of man to God, and in the salvation of all. The body of Christ. They will be snatched away. That group, as I've told you many times, well, not many, but some of you a few times, that group will be so small as to not even be noticed. Because as I say, and I know this is hard to hear, but there won't be anybody sitting in those church pews on Sunday morning that will be part of this group. Because none of them have the understanding that I just gave you. None. Now, this, I'm just going to say it, this, what I'm talking to you about, is the inheritance for you. This is the inheritance that I've written in my journal about since 2009. You getting this. As I've said, I think you'll get it. But this is what you have to get. And if it's meant for you to get it, if God has planned and set you aside since before the foundation, before the disruption of the world, you will get this. But it will mean, well, once you see God differently, you won't want to be in a church building. Because again, you'll understand those doctrines that are underlying all of that, they're blasphemous. You will not want to be around any of that. And this is why I've told you, so often I've been in that system. I was in that system for 38 years. And then I met God, and I'm not there. And the idea, I literally drive by churches on Sunday morning, Wednesday night, and I am so thankful what God has shown me. I'm so thankful that I'm not there. And I feel so bad for those people because they are deceived. And again, I've told you many times, you have to worship God as God. And I've mentioned it 1,000,000 times. God's better than you think He is. But there will be judgment, a straightening. Crisis, where there's a judgment. This age, as I say, will end with the tribulation. The next age is the kingdom age, where Israel will reign on the earth, the true Israel. There will be immortal people during that 1,000 years. The 12 disciples will be immortal. They will be sitting on 12 thrones. There will be people who survive the tribulation and who are mortal, and they will give birth. There will be births happening. People will die during that kingdom age. And then at the end of that kingdom age, the earth will be destroyed with fire. And God will make a new heaven and a new earth. And there will be an age of that. And that age is an unknown period of time. The kingdom age is 1,000 years. The new heavens and the new earth. Don't know. Maybe 7,000 years, maybe 49,000 years. Who knows? But, and then at the end of that age will be the consummation of the ages, where everything is brought under the feet of Jesus Christ, and He will present it. Every knee will bow, every tongue will confess that Jesus is Lord. And He will present it all to the Father, so that God may be all in all. That's the end of this. And then eternity. Eternity, timelessness, however you want to look at that. And everyone who came from Adam will be with God and will be immortal. Now again, have they gone through some stuff? Yes, they have. They've been judged. And that judgment is a straightening. Between the kingdom age and the new heavens and the new earth, there will be the great white throne judgment. And if you weren't part of the body of Christ, if you are not part of the body of Christ, you will stand before God and give an accounting. If your name is written in the Lamb's Book of Life, you'll be raised, made immortal. If you're not, you will go to the lake of fire. And the lake of fire, I don't know exactly what it is, but it's called the second death. So you will die. It's not an eternal thing. You will die. And you will be dead during the new heavens and the new earth. That's why I say to you, your life on this earth right now and things that you believe, for lack of a better word, they determine whether you're going to have life or death during the ages. The life of the ages. And that's what I'm telling you about. That's why I'm earnestly talking to you. That's why I made all of these videos. Because you first have to see that what you believe is off. way off. And I'm not on you because I believed that for 38 years. And I would still be believing it if God had not done something in me. And if God doesn't do something in you, you'll believe it until you die. And unfortunately, the people in your churches, they don't know any of this. And God has not shown them. And I would say this to you. If, I don't think this is going to happen, but if you're here for the tribulation, I would stay away from the churches. If you think you're going to go into the churches and be in some kind of safe haven, no. They will be completely destroyed because God is going to show man what religions were. He's going to destroy them all. Because that's the war. God, his indignation is going to be poured out. He's, in essence, declaring war against man's governments and man's religions. All of them. All of them. The life of the ages. That's the inheritance. Having the life of the ages. And as I've said to you, God works through a remnant, a small group that he uses to accomplish his purposes. That's why I've told you many times, God is not in the many, the M-A-N-Y. I can promise you, any man who stands up there and has 2,000 people come and listen to him every Sunday, he's not telling you any truth. Okay? Because that's not the way it is. That's not the way this is. That's why I've told you, you go on Instagram or you go somewhere and you watch somebody that has a huge number of fun, they're not telling you the truth. God is in the remnant. God works through the remnant. Always a remnant in whatever he's doing. Life or death for the ages. Are you going to have Aeonian life? Or are you going to have death for the eons? That's what I'm talking to you about. Eternity is already determined. God has already accomplished that. The life of the ages. Worship God as God and realize that he is better than you think he is. His plan is more perfect than you think it is. I love you all.